A discussion on a very important issue that has to do with quality in Ghana and the fact that there are some institutions and bodies that need some level of accreditation before they can operate in Ghana. But we are told that Ghana as a sovereign country does not have the requisite capacity to give some of these institutions and bodies the needed accreditation to operate in the country. But then there are established institutions elsewhere around the world. They give you that order to say that yes, you are accredited up to a certain level, you can operate in this country. But we are told that there are plans to start that kind of system in the country. I have two gentlemen here with me in studio. They are going to be helping us understand what all that is about, and then also going into the future how Ghana can prepare for some of these things. Good morning to you, Michael Senaya. He's the programs director of Track Ghana. Good morning. And then also Ivan Hendricks. He's an accreditation expert. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good to have you both join us in studio. To start with, we're told there's a concept or a project called Track. Let me start with you, Michael. Can you help us understand what the Track project is about?
Yeah, to start with, let me take the opportunity to say good morning to your cherished listeners and to the crux of the matter. TRAC is an acronym which stands for Trade Related Assistance and Quality Enabling Program. It's a EU-funded project to the tune of 50 million euros, and it's been implemented by the Ministry of Trade and Industry. Well, it has two components. One has to do with capacity building with regards to the trade policy analysis, and this one is related to the staff of the Ministry of Trade and Industry and its related agencies. Then the second aspect, the second component, has to look at our national quality infrastructure and our national quality policy. When I talk of national quality infrastructure, we are talking about the institutes like we are talking about standardization, metrology, conformity assessments, and as well as accreditation. Yeah, so that's what makes the national quality infrastructure. And one of our activities has to do with setting up an accreditation body, which as a country we don't have. For example, yes, we have our quality institutions like Ghana Standards Authority, yet they have laboratories. But for their labs to be accredited, they need to go outside to foreign bodies. They fall on either SANAS, which is a South African accreditation body, or accreditation body in the EU. Yeah. So we felt now, as a country, for our national quality infrastructure to be complete, we needed to set up our own accreditation body.
But in Africa, is it just South Africa that has that level of capacity to give the needed accreditation?
Not really. With Egypt has one called EJAC, I believe. EJAC. Tunisia has TUNAC.
Okay.
Then I believe it's basically, I think, in the
northern part of
Africa. Yes, but I think the most popular one in Africa is SANAS. Yeah, they're also going through a developmental process.
Stages. Okay, let me bring in Ivan here. If you say you are giving an institution accreditation, what does it mean?
Well, accreditation means that the body which has been accredited is competent, a laboratory, or that can be a person even. So in fact what we mean with accreditation is accreditation of conformity assessment bodies. Okay. And like Michael explained, there are many bodies in Ghana already who are working on conformity assessment tasks, like CSA and many others. And accreditation is the reconnaissance, the acceptance of the competence of those bodies.
Okay, and why have we found the need now as a country to, begin this project, and what role would the TRACS project be playing in this?
Yeah, in our industrial policy, it's stated that as a country, yes, we need to establish an accreditation body. So luckily enough, this program came into being, and because it's basically looking at capacity building with respect to personnel, then our national quality infrastructure. So it was there we realized that yes, we don't have an accreditation body. So yes, as a project, we need to look at that to make sure we have a complete set of national quality infrastructure.
How much, you may not have the exact figures, but how much did it cost us as a country to go outside for another institution to give the accreditation for our labs and other institutions to run?
I think that answer could be answered by the quality institutions because they get and that kind of. But I don't know, maybe he could give a guess of.
I've been myself involved in accreditation on both sides. So first as a laboratory manager, I had to get accreditation in Belgium for a laboratory on safety, for instance. Well, it took me 1 year to write all procedures, the quality manual, and an investment of 2-3 people constantly working on those quality manual. So you can calculate for yourself how much effort and money it takes to get accreditation. It's a serious job because you have to, let's say, give confidence of every test you perform. You have to give confidence that the test is correct, and this goes from A to Z. Yes,
that's quite massive. And in going forward, what are the immediate steps we are taking to begin the program or the to get the quality project in Ghana going? What are your initial steps you're taking?
Well, with regards to, let's talk about national quality infrastructure itself. Yes, as part of the project, we equip about, let's say about 7 institutions, the laboratory of 7 institutions with new equipment worth to the tune of just over 6 million euros. So we are talking of institutions like Ghana Standards Authority, Food and Drugs Authority, Food Research Institute, Industrial Institute of Industrial Research, Veterinary Service Directorate. Yeah, we're buying new equipment for their labs, about 28 laboratories of those 7 institutions. Yeah. Then with the accreditation, we started late last year, we started with a series of training programs. You know, we need personnel, we call auditors or assessors, to go out there to undertake those exercises. Yeah, so we started some training programs, we call them ISO 17,000 series. Trying to build their capacity so that they'll also be ready. Then now we are looking looking at citing the body itself. So we are looking about a venue, a building. Yes, and luckily enough we've been the ministers are located once.
Okay, Ivan, if you what do you look out for before you say if you say you want to accredit an institution or an individual, what do you look out for, or what should they look out for?
Yes, as Michael explained, the conformity assessment bodies have to comply with ISO 17,000 series of standards. 25 is for laboratories, 17025 for laboratories, inspection bodies, certification bodies. So they have to comply with those standards. But accreditation is that a third party, so an auditor, he will check if the quality manual of that laboratory, the certification body or inspection bodies, conforms to the standard. So this auditing may take several days. So the investment cost the conformity assessment body has to pay to the accreditation body is, let's say, quite substantial.
And it means that it could take more than a few months if you want to accredit an institution. It could take quite a substantial.
Yes, there are different phases in that. First, there is the preliminary phase where the accreditation body is going to, let's say, assess if the laboratory, for instance, is capable of doing an accreditation. And then the real process starts. And then every 4 or 5 years there will be a repetition of the same process. So it takes quite a lot of investments in time and money to get there.
Okay. And you have been to other countries and you know, done these accreditations. How beneficial do you think that Ghana as a country starting its own project would be to our economy?
Yeah, very good question, of course, because there must be also a reason to why you are accredited. The main reason is that Ghanaian people and companies especially can export products to foreign markets, especially the EU market is one of the biggest in the world. So if those products do not comply with regulatory requirements, that means also standards, international standards, based on which an accreditation, a conformity assessment body has given the assurance that the products comply with those requirements, then the product can be exported. If not, it cannot be, and there is no economy.
Okay. And I mean, currently as we speak, does it mean that everything we do that we export, a third, fourth party would have to verify and accredit before we send them out? Is that what has been happening?
Yeah, because what's happening is with some of these quality institutions, their labs, some have been accredited. Yeah, so if you are accredited, then you have international recognition.
Okay.
So when you export and you know, oh, your certificate of analysis indicates that it's from this lab, we say, oh, we already know that this lab is accredited. So that one, it eases trade.
Okay.
So what happens is, when you gain that kind of international recognition, then there's that easy flow of your trade between you and your trading partners.
Okay.
Yeah, the same with our domestic trade. Because when I'm talking about trade, we are talking about both international trade and domestic trade. Yeah, the moment we know this sample has gone through this accredited lab, then we are assured. The same way even with our medical labs. You go to the lab, you go enter a lab and they need to test your blood. You as a client, you're not too sure whether the person taking your blood is competent. You know, it's this accreditation that will indicate that yes, the person and the lab, they are competent to undertake.
Okay.
In that sense.
That's quite a positive for the country. But there are those who would ask about the cost implications. I mean, how are we going to get the funding to run the business and all of that? What are the plans in place for all of that?
Well, as I told you, the project comes with an amount of 50 million euros. And yes, we've been able to establish a consortium. They are supposed to lead us to help us establish it and make us internationally recognized. Yeah, in the sense that, yes, so we are following on SANAS. The consortium is made of SANAS, that's South African Accreditation Service. Then SNACS, that's the Slovakian Accreditation Service. Then there's one IBF, they are more or less into the administrative and business.
And still on that, which sectors of the Ghanaian economy are going to be the major beneficiaries if we have an accreditation system in place? You can take that, Ivan.
Yes, please. Glad. It's not only about food. As Michael explained, quality infrastructure is food and non-food.
Okay.
I would say that even for non-food area, it's most important to have accreditation, because industrial products without a laboratory support, they cannot face the market. So I think it's important for Ghana to develop both areas at the same time, not only food but also the non-food area, because both are also supporting each other.
Right, and but then going forward, what would I mean, in concluding the interview, would want to find out how public education and all of that to let people know that this project now, or as of now, Ghana is going to be able to do these, and even in the sub-region, I'm sure other countries would probably also start depending on us to, you know, certify their products and services before it goes out. What are the plans to get this news out there?
Yeah, currently we've planned a series of consultative meetings. Just yesterday, a letter went out to the line ministries.
Okay.
Yeah, in fact, to the users, we are looking at the users of the accreditation body or service. So we're looking at the line ministries and their related agencies. We are looking at the private sector. We are looking at the conformity assessment bodies. We are looking at industry. Yeah, so we'll be visiting all of them and have that kind of consultative interaction with them. Yeah, because that will help us to create market data for the accreditation body to start working on. Yeah.
Okay. And Ivan, in concluding, what would you say Ghana can do in the interim while we prepare to undertake this project?
Yes. As I said, accreditation is a hard business. It is quite a lot of work. So we have to take step-by-step approach.
Okay.
So we would start up with, let's say, main industry, the between brackets, simple products, what we say. and then go to more complex products where the accreditation is much more complex. So in that idea, we had together in the track project to start with, for instance, household equipment, small industrial equipment, but not the very advanced industrial equipment, and the food area, of course, where there is a lot of demand in Ghana to go there.
Okay, yeah. All right. I think I've had quite an education this morning about issues regarding accreditation, Ghana's current position, and the fact that there are plans to ensure that we as a country are able to get the capacity to start doing what is required. The ISO was mentioned quite a few times. Is what International Standards Organization. There's a certain certification they must give you so that you can also go ahead and work. Okay, thank you very much again to Michael Senaya. He is Programs Director of the Track Program, and then also Ivan Hendricks. He is an accreditation expert. They were taking us through what accreditation is, and then also issues with quality and how Ghana can begin its own accreditation of products and services, and especially with regard to trade. I'm sure that is where the main focus would be. Thank you, and I hope to be hearing more from you when the project is off the ground, and do have a good day. This is still New Day on TV3.